Welcome to TechbrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn about the SSIS lift and shift feature to the Azure Data Factory. So how exactly that works? So let's say you have created SSIS package that will load the data between two Azure databases, and now you've been running that SSIS package from the on-premises SSIS DB or SQL Server. Now what you would like to do, you would like to take this package to the Azure and deploy it there. There are many ways to deploy your SSIS package in Azure and run them. One of them is called the Azure File Share. So in this, what we are going to learn now how to deploy SSIS project in Azure File Share and call SSIS package in Azure Pipeline. That's the topic. And what we are going to do here, we are going to create SSIS package that will be reading the data from one Azure database and writing to the another Azure database. We'll create SSIS IR to use Azure file share, and we will save the project there. Then finally we'll call that SSIS package from the project and then run in the pipeline. So let's go ahead and start work on it. First of all, we need to create an SSIS package, right, that we want to deploy in Azure. So open Visual Studio, and here we are going to create a new project. I'm going to call this project Azure file and demo. Okay, so hit OK. Now our project is created, and next part is we are gonna bring this is our package. Let's rename this package, and we call this package pkg underscore customer. Okay, now what we need a data flow task. Why? Because we need to write the data from one Azure database and load to the other Azure database table. Now here I have Azure SQL, and then on that I have two databases. One is called destination, and another is called the TechbrothersIT DB. In the TechbrothersIT DB, I have created this table with some data, so you can see like this. If I run this query, what you're gonna see is going to show you the database, and then it's going to show you the table in which this database table exists. So this sales total regional sale, that's in the TechbrothersIT DB. Now if I go to the destination right here and execute, I have the same table with the same definition, just I have put the DEST at the starting, and this is in destination, but no records are there. So we want to load the data from TechbrothersIT database from this table to our this destination database, right? So there is, it need to go right here. So let's go ahead and do that in the Visual Studio. So I have data flow already here. I'm gonna open data flow, and now I need OLEDB source. So OLEDB source and OLEDB destination, that's what we need. In the OLEDB source, I'm gonna double click, create a new connection, and hit new. Once I hit new, it is gonna ask me my server name. So I'm gonna go to the portal, and from the portal I'm gonna copy the name of the server. See right there, that's the server, and I just click right there, and I'm gonna copy this server name. Let's go back here in the SSMS and sorry, Visual Studio, and once we are in the Visual Studio, we are going to provide the server name, and here you will be selecting your authentication. Select authentication, and in this case we are selecting SQL Server authentication. I will be providing my username that I know is a TB user, and password is the test123 $sign. Why I'm telling you guys this password? Because I don't care, I will drop the database after that demo. So but I will test this username in front of you, so I want to do some testing by changing the password, so that's why I'm sharing with you. Hit OK. Now this connection is created, and now select the table. So total regional sale columns, and it's looking all good. Now I'm gonna do one thing here, so I'm gonna call it source, right, and it's coming from a total regional sale. Then I'm gonna go to destination, hit on destination. It's going to be a new connection because we are going to point to the different database. So I'm going to paste the server name, and once I paste the server name, I'm going to select the authentication, and it's going to be TB user, and password is test123 $sign, and the database name is the destination. So test connection looks good, and hit OK. Now hit OK, and we select the table, and table is the destination total regional sale, and map it will map automatically because the column names are the same. Now here what I can do, I'm going to go to properties and I'm going to rename this and I will call this source underscore TechbrothersIT DB. Okay, and this one I will go ahead and rename, and I'm going to call this one a destination, and I will call it destination DB because this is the destination DB. Okay, now as of now I do not have any parameters or anything. I'm not using any project level parameter or package level parameter. I'm going to go ahead and create one at least parameter so I can show you. So I'm going to go to the parameter, and here I'm going to call this one password. So password, and now it's going to be integer, sorry, string, and the password, remember that is this test123 $sign. That's what the value I have provided. You can say it is case sensitive or not, doesn't really matter. So we hit go to control and hit save. Now where we need to use that, we need to use that in the our source and destination because it's the same password, so I'm going to use it. So go to the connection manager, go to expression, click right there, and in the parameters we are going to use it right there. Select the parameter. Okay, so hit OK, and then we can do the same thing here in the destination. So I'm telling you, showing you this one because in your actual environments you are going to have different parameters and you will be using it, and you will be changing the password and all those kind of things. That's why it is important to create the parameters and use them in your package. Okay, so it's all good, and now we are going to go ahead and right click and execute package. It should read 11 or 10 rows from the source and load to the destination. So let's double click and see what is happening. It loaded 11 rows. Now we go to the SSMS and here that's where our destination is, and there was no records. Now it should have 11 rows right there. So this is destination and this is our records. So this package is working, but the problem does not stop here. Why? Because this package is in on premises, it is on my local laptop or on the local network, whatever you want to call it, and this needs to go into the Azure. So think about that. I do not have any SSIS installed on my local. I don't want to because I don't want to deal with the licensing and all those kind of things, and that's where I would like to take this package to the Azure and then use them. Or think about another scenario. Maybe my databases were at the local server first, and now they have migrated to the Azure, and I need to take this package to the Azure so it can run and load the data between two databases. So there could be multiple scenarios can happen. Now we are all good here. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to create one more package. I'm going to copy and just paste it there. So you will have a customer project package again. I'm going to rename this. So instead of a customer one, I'm going to call this a product. Okay. It's doing the same thing. It's the same package. I just made a copy. So I want to show you when we deploy it. Do you see the list of the packages or you don't, or what happened, and all those kind of things. Okay. So I'm going to using it as for the reference so you can use it in the pipelines. All right, so now we have a lot of work to do. We are here in our portal and we need to create some SSIS IR. So we need to go to the Azure Data Factory here, click on Azure Data Factory, and here what we need to do, we are going to open, and once we are there, I'm going to close the old one, leave this, and here now Azure Data Factory is open, and I'm going to go to the manager. In the manager, I'm going to do a couple of things. I can delete these guys. I don't need them. And here I'm going to go to the integration runtime new, and I'm going to select Azure SSIS. Select that, and here you will provide the name. I'm going to call this SSIS IR IR project deployment. So what I have done in the past, I have actually package deployment. You can watch that video in which you will only deploy one package. Here we are going to deploy the entire project. Now EastUS is fine, and then 2 cores is just fine. I don't want to be having a lot of cores, and I don't want to have a lot of number of nodes because I'm not in the need of running hundreds of thousands of packages, so I don't need them. So click next, and here See, create SSIS catalog, SSIS hosted by Azure database or managed instance. If you would like to save your packages in SSIS DB, then you can do it. I have done that in watch that video. So close that, and we need this create SSIS package store to manage your SSIS packages that are deployed into file system or Azure Files or SQL Server database MSDB hosted by a managed instance. So we are going to use one of them. You can select this one, and then in our case what we are doing Azure Files. Okay, that's what we are doing. Now hit new, and it is going to ask you create the linked service there. So I'm going to call this one SSIS package deployment. I will call it SSIS project. Okay, deployment demo. Okay, so whatever you want to call it, just give a name, and then we are going to create a new linked service. Why? Because the SSIS package LNK. Okay, now it is asking where you would like to save those packages, in the Azure file storage or in the Azure SQL database managed instance like an MSDB or in the file system. Don't be confused with the file system because it's a shared space on some folder, maybe on some VM or on maybe whatever the server you have there. So in our case, it's going to be Azure file storage. So we are good here, select subscription, and then now it's asking you, hey, what is your storage account? So let's go ahead and create a storage account. So I'm here in the portal and I need to create a storage account. I'm going to go to the storage, and here I'm going to create a new. And in this case, what we have to do, we have to select our subscription and provide the name. So subscription is here, and then your resource group, and then finally you're providing the name SSIS storage for demo. Okay, so East US is fine, and the rest of the everything is okay. And now we are gonna do create. It's gonna create it quickly, so it will be done. And once that's done, we have to do a couple of things. We are gonna create two file shares, one for the packages and one for the logs. Okay, our resource is ready. Let's go to resource, and we are gonna go to the, here are the containers. We have no container, but this is default container. We are gonna go to the file shares, and here we are gonna create a new file share, and I'm gonna call this SSIS package store. Whatever you wanna name it is your choice. We are gonna do that, and then next file share, what we are gonna do, we are gonna do SSIS logs. So it's going to create two file shares. Now these file share will be used here in our ADF. So go to the storage account and refresh, and now we should see that SSIS storage demo. That's what the storage we created, and then we created the file share. So if you remember that, with two file shares has been created, and one is called SSIS package store. Click right there and test, and now we are going to go hit create. Our linked service is created, and now we can use that linked service. So it is pointing to the our Azure file share. So that's where our project is going to be saved, and that's what our SSIS IR will be using. So you see right there, that's the name of our uh, what you call the that package store, and that's where it is in the Azure files. So we are going to click continue, and now it is asking more question. Hey, you want to have a how many parallel execution you want to have per node? I'm fine with two because my packages are not that huge and I don't care. And you can select whatever you want, but again, depend upon your computer. If you will say 8 and you have a two vCPU, then you can think about that, and memory. So you have to plan it ahead. If you have a lot of packages, you probably would have more nodes, and then you can select the big number here. Now in these cases, you are not going to select anything here. I have already here the self-hosted IR I have set up in one of the demo, and you can use that to watch that video. But I'm gonna go straight with the creating this SSIS IR. Our SSIS IR is in the process of starting, and meanwhile what we can do, we can deploy our project. So if you guys remember that in the Visual Studio, what we have created this project. So I'm gonna click here, go to the properties, and then once you go to the properties, right here in the click here, and you are gonna see this location. So copy that location and then open that location. Open the file explorer, and in the file explorer, what you're going to do, you're going to paste that link. Once you paste that, it's going to show you something like this. Sorry, it was on a different screen. So it's going to show you this whole project right there, and you're going to go to the bin folder. Once you go to the bin, you're going to go to deployment, and there is a ispack file sitting there. So you copy this thing, and now what we are going to do, we are going to upload this project. This project has have the definition of our SSIS packages. All right, let's go back to Azure Data Factory. It's still in the process. Let's refresh and see. It's still working on it. No big deal. We can upload the packages meanwhile. So go to the SSIS packages. See, remember where we are. We are in the storage that we have created, the demo storage. And in the demo storage, we have a file shares. And there were two file shares, one for logs, one for the package stores. So we are going to go to the package store, upload, and here we are going to click upload, browse to the folder, and then we are going to paste that path there, and that's Azure file demo is backup. So every time remember that when you create the packages, build it, and after building it, it's going to create this file for you, so you can upload and use it. All right, so we are all done. Our spec is ready. Now what we have to do, we have to go to the Azure Data Factory, and finally our Azure SSIS is running. Let's take a look. Go to monitor here. We have running, it's running condition. It's called Azure SSIS, that's a type, ECUS. These are the cores, running nodes, and if you want to test some connection, you can test. And here is node details. So that's the node name, or all the details you have, how much memory, how much percentage is used, and if you want to see if there are concurrent jobs running and all that. Right now nothing is running. And here is the package store where your packages are stored. In our case, they are stored in Azure file share. You can have more than one package store and save your packages and call by the this IER, also using the pipelines. So let's go and create a pipeline now. Now our package has to be executed, right? So we are going to go to the author. In the author, I'm going to go to pipeline, new pipeline, and I'm going to call this, let's call this guy PL execute customer package. Now what we need here, we need to execute package SSIS package activity here. So click right there. There are some things to do. Settings. In the settings, you are gonna select your Azure SSIS IR. So select that part. Here is the SSIS IR that we have just created. You can provide Windows authentication if you have used, or you can just leave this as it is, as I'm using SQL authentication. Now you can use 32-bit runtime if you want to run your package in 32-bit. I don't know if that's the really case, but some of the driver might not be available in 64. So you would like to run this package in 32-bit. That's possible. In case we have seen Oracle, MySQL, and all different drivers in the past that had been running in 32. All right, now here package location. So you're gonna select where exactly is your package. File system package. If you have deployed the package level and your packages are using package configuration old style 2005, 2008, and all that, so you're gonna choose this one, and then navigate to the that file share. I have done a video on this one, you can watch it. In this case, what we have done file system, yes, but project level is pack, right? So that's what we are going to do. We have two more options. We will talk about that in next videos. So once you are here, it's going to ask you, hey, where is your ispack? See right there, it's asking me. So I'm going to tell it where it is. So I'm going to navigate this guy to the actual folder right there. So the file share. See right there, we have ispack created right there. Azure file demo ispack. So I selected that. Now, it would be nice if it will read the list of the package names and just tell you there, but it does not. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to copy the package name. So I'm going to copy this thing and go back. Paste it right there. Now our package is ready. Now this the things Azure domain. The domain to access your project or package or configuration, for example, if you have stored them in the Azure files, the domain is Azure. Okay, so you can change that if you want, depending on where you saved your packages and what need to be done. This is automatic coming through the username because we have saved our package in this folder. Now this password, what is this password? This is the key that you are using in your blob storage. So let's go back right there. This is your storage, and these are the file shares. Remember we have created, but we are going to go to the keys. And here you are going to say show keys, and this is the key you are talking about. This is a password right there. So you can use that there. Now we are all set. So if you see right there, it tells you, what it is. You can do some login, and if your package is encrypted, you can provide that information. And the logging level, you have basic, verbose, and performance. So in my case, I'm going to go with the basic, and here I'm going to browse to the storage. Now, logging, same as what we want to do here. We want to select subscription, and then we are going to go in demo folder, and we have created this SSIS log. So I'm going to hit OK. So this is where it will be saved. So login access credential, same as package access credential. You can click on that one, domain and all that. So a lot of information you can give there. I don't care about that. Package parameter. This is where you can change the parameters that you have used. So click new, and it's going to be package level or project level. In my case, I do not have a parameter that's on project level, so I'm going to go to the package level. So that's why I was telling you I have the parameter here in my package, and the value I showed you was a test 1 to 3 and all that. So if you guys remember that, the value was a test 1 to 3 and $sign. So this is the password I'm using it. This is the parameter. So I can use the same parameter here and provide the name of that. So it would be nice if it will give a list of the parameters available, but it does not. So it's all right. So I'm in this case a test 1 2 3 $sign. That's the password. So I'm providing it. If I would not have provided it, still is there because it is saved. But first we will test with success, and then we'll provide incorrect value and fail it and show you it is working. Now, connection managers, you can always go ahead and add a connection manager. It's on project level or package level, and you can provide that name, properties, values, and all that. That can be done. In my case, I don't have that, so I'm going to just delete this part. Now you have property override if you want to override some properties, and you can provide those values. So it's a lot of information is there, and a lot of ways to make your package dynamic and change the values. So you can use that here in the configuration. Go to the journal and go to setting. We are all set here actually, so we don't need to do anything, and I'm going to go ahead and debug my package. My package is executed successfully, and I can go ahead and take a look. And here is my database, and remember that it has 11 records. As this package completed successfully, now we should have a 22 or 23 records. So 22 records, actually one of this record is right there, so it's considering as one record. Now we are all done here, and now what we can do, I'm gonna click right there, and I'm going to truncate this table. So let me truncate table. And this time what we are going to do, we are going to fail our package. How? We are going to go to the parameters, and here I will say, instead of a $sign, I will say $2. Now we will execute the package, and meanwhile it will run. I will take you to the logs. So go to the demo folder here, and sorry, SSIS story demo, and go to the file shares, and we have SSIS logs. In the SSIS logs, click right there, and you have these 5 different type of files sitting there, and these can be very helpful. Go to the edit, and now you're gonna see all that information, and here is the last time what it ran and all those. So you see it has, honestly, it's a lot of information to read, and I wish I can read it that quickly, but a cleanup phase is happening here, is validating, cleaning, beginning, all those kind of things, use system proxies, so no web proxy and all that. So anyways, there is tons of information. So let's see what this file has, and you can see right there, so it says event message context. So this will provide you a lot of information as well, and now this tells you which user is running, and different things. All right, and which server is used, you can see right there. So anyways, so tons of information is available. So let's go back to this folder again and see if there are 2 files now. So 2 are created, and now our package has been completed with the failure status. So let's go back here. This error what you see is not that too detailed. So what we are going to do, we are going to go in the middle arrow. So once you go in the output, it shows you more information, and it says that login failed for user. Okay, why it failed? The acquiring connection failed with this error, may have error with the there are So anyways, it tells us login failed. Doesn't really tell a whole lot, like, oh, your package is wrong with the dollar sign and all those kind of things. You have to figure that out by yourself, right? So let's go to the error log, and now we'll see some errors and see if that is helpful. So I'm going to go to it, and here you can see there are tons of these messages, and if I will be you, I will say error, you know, and try to find it error or login failed. So this file does not have a whole lot. So let's go to the first file and see if that provides some information. So okay, yep, SSIS error code, connection manager, and acquiring method call to the this is a more descriptive destination database. Okay, yeah, that's one of that. Why it failed, the login failed. So there is an error, and it tells us that either your login failed for this user. So when your login is failed, there are two things can happen, right? Either your login is incorrect or your password. In this case, our password is incorrect. So we have that information, so we can go back and take a look. Now we need to fix our login. We go back to package, and here we just remove the dollar sign. Now our package is ready, and this time instead of running from here, I'm going to go ahead and add a trigger. So I'm going to say new, and now you can schedule. So add, and here I'm going to say schedule, and start it run it every minute. Okay, now there is you can specify some end date if you want. So let's say I will say run for 2 days only. Now I'm all good here, and start trigger on creating. So hit OK. Now I can go ahead and do one thing. I need to publish. Once I publish, then this pipeline will be there with the package, and now our trigger is there, and that trigger is going to run our SSIS package every minute. So we can go and take a look on our database side. As of now, in the database, we do not have any record because I truncated all those records. So we don't have to execute this pipeline anymore. What we are going to do, we are going to go to the monitor. And in the monitor, we have this pipeline runs, and I'm going to hit refresh, and all pipelines, yes, this is my pipeline, refresh, status, all, even executing or success or failure or whatever. And show me everything, yes. So let me refresh. Let me go to trigger runs and see if the trigger is running. So all statuses, refresh, scheduled trigger, right? So trigger name, all status. Okay, here is our trigger. Now still we are not seeing the trigger right there. Why? What is wrong? So we are gonna go back here and take a look on the trigger. Our trigger is started and enabled, and it's related to one pipeline. So we can click right there. Oh, start date maybe is so we should start a little early. Maybe we 10:17. So let me see if it did restart. So let me go back here and in the monitor, and now we are gonna go and check the status. So we set that every minute, right? Let me see. Runs every minute. I'm just changing some previous time. Okay, publish. Yes, publish successfully. Go back to database. Select the data. It's still not running, so I believe it's with the time. So it is UTC time, and I messed up with the time, so that's why I need to fix that. Okay, so our trigger is running successfully now, and you can see that it executed one time. And now if we go to the pipeline has been in the progress, and now we can go to the data and take a look. So you see that it executed one time and loaded 11 records. Now after a minute, it is going to run another time. It executed one time, and now what's going to happen is going to execute every minute. So we can take a look on that. So let's go back here, and now if we go to the trigger again, trigger runs, And now when the next minute is going to come, 22 and 26:22, that's where it's going to start the next time. So it's going to keep running. And we go to the trigger runs and sorry, pipeline runs, and we can see that our pipeline has been completed successfully. So it executed our SSIS package that read the data from one Azure database and returned to the another Azure database table by using our Azure SSIS project deployment IR. So you can see that what type of IR it is using right here. Now you can go further in detail. You can take a look right there. So which IRs is using and which domain and all that information it is using. So you can take a look from here. So it's connecting via the deployment SSIS, or so it tells you the reference which it is using and which type of that is integration runtime reference. So this is all good. You have a lot of information right there. Now, if we go back to the trigger runs, another instance of trigger has been completed, and now if I go to the pipeline run, it is completed as well. So if I go to the database right now, there should be more records. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look. So you can see that right now I have 22 records. So this is how you are going to create your SSIS packages from scratch and then deploy to the Azure as that file share and then schedule them in the pipelines by using Azure SSIS IR. So I thank you for watching this video, and I hope you were able to learn some good concepts from here and using the real time. Please go ahead and subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.